I've known George Sorrells for over 50 years. First knew of him when I was a resident and pulmonary fellow at Riley Hospital. So his reputation preceded me coming to Bloomington to set up my own solo practice. So I've known George not only as a fellow colleague, but as a friend and a fellow partner for the last 25 years. George is an amazing person, and I'm humbled to be included with his name for this award. When I went through the pediatric specialties, I immediately gravitated and identified with the pediatric faculty, and I thought this is where I belong in terms of a personality standpoint. The other thing that really intrigued me was that I loved taking care of sick kids. I found that I really liked doing that, which not everybody does. And I loved being in the newborn intensive care unit, and I loved being in the ICU. And so that's one thing that really attracted me to pediatrics. Kids get sick really fast. Most of the time they get well pretty fast. And I like the fast pace and the unpredictability of that. I'm most grateful for two things through the course of my career. The first one is the model of pediatrics that we set up with partners who were very willing to be part of this and be fully accessible and provide excellent care in a way that hadn't been done before, and be willing to take on new challenges as medicine changes, to particularly continue to put the patient first and then let the rest of it follow. Because if you put the patient first and let the rest of it follow, it'll work out and you'll take best care of patients and you will be happier as a result of that. The second thing I'm most grateful for is the support and patience I've had from my family through the course of my career, particularly my wife, Catherine, and our 4 kids and grandkids. So now I want to be able to give back to them a little bit more.
I've worked with Dr. Laughlin for 20 years closely, but I've known him for 40 years. And in addition to that, I've been a mom in his practice, so I know him from a lot of different aspects. Everybody in their work life has things that they say repeatedly. And for Jim, those things are not platitudes. So one of the things that he says is, you do the right thing and everything else will follow. And those are actually the words that he used to get me to leave the hospital and come and work for him. Because I believed him, he had the sincerity about what he did. And for Jim, that meant that you hire partners who are like-minded, that you staff your office with nurses who can talk to the parents, who can counsel them, who can teach them. You bring these people together with a common vision and a common purpose. And if you're doing the things that you know feel right, then the rest of it will just fall into place. And I think his career proves that to be true in that case. But probably my favorite saying of his is, kids don't get sick on schedule, because that really drove the philosophy of the practice. And what that means is, when a child is sick, we all know this, when a child is sick, it affects the whole family. It's a stressor to the family. And he saw it as his responsibility to do everything that he could and everything that the partners could do to lessen that stress on the family.
If I was to have one wish of what my grandkids would remember about my career, is that he took good care of patients.